Hi everyone, Tim here, and this is a presentation on whether or not we have food deserts within our local area. For starters, let's define what a food desert is. Multiple articles cite a food desert as not having enough healthy, affordable food in the local area, which means usually within a 1 mile radius. Essential goods are usually more costly in these food deserts as well. So, in order to find out if we are living in a food desert, we will tackle two main questions: how the price of certain goods compare between types of stores that they were spot at, and if there is a correlation between distance from a convenience store and the distance from a grocery store. The following data was analyzed and taken from a Clark College statistics class, where college students in the class sought out their local grocery and convenience stores and filled out a questionnaire regarding the distances from stores, time it takes to reach the stores, and the prices of certain goods in these stores. These following students were in the Vancouver and Kansas City ranges and volunteered to be sampled in the research. This is a sample within the larger population of the city in Vancouver and Kansas. With our first analysis, let's take a look at the correlation between store type and distance from homes. Looking at the summary statistics in Figure 1, the grocery stores are on average further away from homes, with a mean distance from home being 1.58 miles compared to convenience stores 1.2 miles away from a home. Based off of the scatter plot in Figure 3, the linear regression line calculated was deemed to have the equation of grocery store miles is equal to 0.6 miles plus 0.81 convenience store miles. This means that a grocery store is 0.6 miles away from a home when a convenience store is 0 miles away from a home. From the line of regression, we can estimate that if a house is 2 miles away from a convenience store, then the house would also be 2.22 miles away from a grocery store as well. Looking at the linear coefficient from Figure 2, r equals 0.57, the linear coefficient signifies that there is a moderate positive correlation between the travel distance of convenience stores versus grocery stores, meaning that as the distance of a convenience store increases, the distance from a grocery store increases as well. Lastly, looking at the coefficient of determination from Figure 2, with a value of r squared as 0.329, this means that merely 32.9% of the variation in the response is predicted by the linear regression model, meaning that 32.9% of the data can be explained by the linear regression model, meaning that 67.1% of the data is affected by other variables not accounted for in the equation of regression. We have a box plot of two store types by distance plotted next to each other, as well as a few confidence intervals. For the box plots, the one on top is the convenience store distance, which is significantly more centralized and shorter than the grocery store plot in the bottom, which means that on average, the convenience stores are usually closer to homes than grocery stores. This is further proven by our confidence intervals. This confidence interval in Figure 5 is the confidence interval of the mean value of a convenience store distance. We are 95% confident that the average convenience store is between 1.01 and 1.44 miles away from the house in the sample. Similarly, for the grocery stores, we are 95% confident that the average grocery store is between 1.28 and 1.89 miles away from the house in the sample. Evidence from the past two slides also correlate to the walking distances between these stores. From Figure 7, a contingency table of walking times to stores based on store type, the time it takes to walk from a convenience store is significantly shorter than the time it takes to walk from a grocery store on average. Throughout the 104 stores sampled within the data, 29 of the 42 stores accounted for as lawn walks were listed as grocery store walking times, and far more convenience stores had shorter walking times compared to grocery stores, based off of the contingency table. Here's a stacked bar chart from the previous page on walking distances, and walking times specifically. From Figure 8, more than half of the grocery stores, 56% to be exact, require long distances or longer walking times to reach, which is classified as over 30 minutes. As opposed to about a quarter, only 27% of convenience stores needed long walks, meaning that the median time it takes to walk from a convenience store on average is shorter than the time it takes to walk to a grocery store. This is shocking as there is a 29% difference between the two bars. Let's move from store distance and walking times to the important part, the price comparisons between the stores. Does it matter where we shop? Well, from these summary statistics on the price of a gallon of water, it does. We can see that the mean cost of a gallon of water from a convenience store is about $2.06. 50% of our data is between the price of $1.7 and $2.5 for the cost of a gallon of water at a convenience store, with a maximum price of $3.5 with a median price of $2.19. For the grocery store, this price is significantly less. The mean price of a gallon of water is $1.24, and the median cost of a gallon of water in these stores is only $0.99. The standard deviations for both these stores are similar, with a convenience stores being at $0.8 and grocery stores being at $0.76. Here we see the histograms between the two store types, as well as some confidence intervals. From the histograms, it is clear that the cost of water at a convenience store is greater than the cost of water at a grocery store. The 99% confidence interval for a price of gallon of water at a convenience store is $1.74 to $2.36, meaning that we are 99% confident that the mean price of a gallon of water at a convenience store is between $1.74 and $2.36. On the other hand, for the grocery store interval, we're 99% confident that the median price of a gallon of water at a grocery store is between $0.95 and $1.53. The confidence interval of the grocery store price is completely outside the confidence interval of a gallon of water at a convenience store, meaning that, barring a rare chance, the price of a gallon of water at a convenience store is nearly always higher than the price of a gallon of water at a grocery store. It doesn't apply to just gallons of water. This applies to other objects in a store. Looking over briefly, we can see that the milk prices and chip prices are on average higher at a convenience store versus a grocery store. In the chip summary statistics up here, the median price at a grocery store is $2.81, while at a convenience store it's $4.16. Same for the milk. At a grocery store, the median price is $2.99, while at the convenience store, it is $4.39. Prices at convenience stores are higher than at grocery stores. Before we conclude the study, let's talk about some of the possible sampling errors. First, we have false information. The data people collected in the class sent in may have not been the most optimized data possible. Some people may prefer a store further away that has cheaper prices, and thus results can skew. We can also have a bias sample, which means that this sample was mainly of college students, some who have families, others who are full-time students. Thus, access to transportation may be different than the general population. We also have a few outliers going back to the box plots, which may have influenced our data slightly. Lastly, as with this last stacked bars chart, there may have been other factors that weren't factored into our research. Maybe people lived in rural areas in this area that have hard walking grounds. As well, regarding food prices, maybe the quality of the food is different between the stores. We did not track food brands in the stores, so results can vary. And all, do we have food deserts in the area? Well, we saw that convenience stores are closer than grocery stores, but all of these stores are within 1 mile of adequate distance, and many of them are within 30 miles of walking, but grocery stores are really not within walking distance. Prices at convenience stores are also higher than at grocery stores, significantly so. So, in my eyes, it is evident that we have at least a moderate food desert within our area. Food is quite expensive in closer areas. The lack of quick walking routes is a concern, and all stores, even cheaper ones, are an average of further than a mile out. I urge our local lawmakers to minimize and make laws so that we would have less food deserts in this area. Thank you for listening to my presentation.